So when this topic is so close and near and dear to my heart because when I told my mama I was pregnant,
This that
actually
thing
I
you was
told the
talking
lady at
about.
my school, and the lady at my school called my mom and told her that I was pregnant. And when I got home, I asked her like, okay, so like, what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we gonna do? And because I had known like, obviously abortions, adoptions, or somebody else in the family could, take the baby. And she said, no, you're gonna keep the baby because you can get food stamps, you can get Section 8, you can get housing, you can get Medicaid, you can get child support, and you can get taxes. And I was like, mind you, I'm only what? How was I? I was 13. So I'm just sitting there looking like, girl, I don't know nothing about none of that stuff you talking about. Baby. So I gotta keep the baby. And she was like, yeah. And she said you was grown enough to lay down and get pregnant. You gonna be grown enough to take care of the baby. And I just did not like. I did not receive that well because I just felt like as a parent, I know it gets to a point because I've made it to a point with my daughters. But at the same time, it's like, dang, that's your reason on why you want me to keep the baby. Like it just didn't make no sense. It just made me. I just did. Honestly, I think that was the day that I lost so much respect for my mama. Like that was the day because I felt like that's all you seen for my life. That's it. That's all you seen, and I didn't respect that. And she told me she was gonna help me take care of the baby, which she did not. It was always get in the house, get your baby. And I'm all for responsibility. Like I take full accountability for what I did. I did that, but I have to do it alone. I didn't think I was gonna have to do it by myself. And on top of that, I told you that man said he did not want this baby and all that, and she just was so hell bent on this food stamp Section 8 and government assistance. And I didn't even get the Section 8. I didn't get the Section 8. I didn't get the child support. And looking back on it, I just was super like disappointed. I was super disappointed. I was super disappointed in myself at that time because I was like, oh my God, like I'm about to have a baby. Like, what am I going to do with a baby? You know what I'm saying? Nobody really explained to you what comes with having a child while you are a child. And just because you're 18 don't mean that you at a point to where you established enough to be having a child. Do whatever it is you're gonna do. But also I just be wanting people to like when I be seeing like some of my family members, they young and they having kids and so on and so forth. I say my piece and then I go on about my business. But it's just like, did your mama really explain to you what goes into having a kid?
Hmm.
I truly believe it's a large proportion of black mothers that are jealous of their daughters and they don't see anything past what they've accomplished. And I'll say that again. I truly believe that there are plenty of black mamas that don't want to see their daughters make it past anything mama ever did. That's why they sabotage them. That's why they don't teach them about how babies are made. That's why they don't teach them about sex. What do everybody tell their black daughters? Don't do it. Don't bring no grandbabies home. They don't talk about birth control. Half of them even talk about the menstruation. You know what I mean? A little girl cycle. From
Mm-hmm.
the time I remember, like it was always a open conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of mamas. That's why when they see their daughter first love, what do they say? Oh, you being fast. Like you know what I mean? You being fast. They don't want to see their daughters loved on. It's a lot of bitterness. It's a lot of black moms that their baby girls first bully. You know what I mean? They sexualize their daughters and then wonder how they a grandma when their child is 13. Um, they fall out with their daughters. A lot of young women I spoke to say, like my mom and my grandmother pushed my baby father away, not letting them be active, not trusting me, especially when they have baby girls. So many
That's
black
the
women have been
conversation right there, man.
and so many black young women and generational have been sexually assaulted that they put that fear on the girl. You better not send him over there to his or her daddy. It's always the girl. You better not send her over there to her daddy house. You know what I mean? You don't know what kind of folk he got. When it's the boy, it's like, oh, he's not a good enough role model. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's always an excuse why a child can't know their daddy and his people and their people. It's their people. You know what I mean? It's always an excuse. And a lot of black women, they didn't learn how to be mothers. They learn how to perform under pressure. They in survival mode. And all it takes to get out of survival mode is having a conversation with your child's father saying, okay, I do need your help. But that's, like I said, so many black mothers wait till their child is in danger, in trouble. Some give them to the cemetery. Some give them to the prison before they call the dad and say, I need your help,
Mm-hmm.
They don't, when a black mama is embarrassed, then she realizes that she's in over her head. But so many will parent and let their kids lack. Let their kids go to school unkempt. Let their kids go to school embarrassed. Or even if she one of them boss chicks, let me not leave y'all out, the boss chick. It's always the aesthetics of a black child. It's never, you're not pouring nothing in it. You're just dressing them up. Like I said, your baby. My kids stay with, they stay laid. They stay with the best of the best. The best of the best is a good father. Because part of being a good mom is choosing a good father. That's a part of being a good parent.
Man, come on.
That's what you want to realize. You have the choice. It's in your hand. And it's okay to say, I was very much in lust. When we have those conversations with our young girls, what's lust? Then we could open up those. We don't want to have the conversation because no black woman wants to be embarrassed about what she's done. Because one thing I know, like I said, I'm in so many group chats. Our friends and our sisters and the women that we hold dear to us, they know all our sins. But to admit those sins to our children, that's where we'll have the most embarrassment because now they just disgusted by you. They're not afraid of you no more. They don't care about what you're saying no more. They're disgusted by you and they have no respect. And I think a lot of black mamas, they don't understand that reckoning day is coming. You know what I mean? Because your kids, they going to find out. So many black kids doing their own 23andMe ancestry test, finding their kinfolk on Facebook. Your kids find out the truth for their own. You don't got to say anything because these kids, one thing about them, they're a little smarter than you give them credit for. They own family history. They tracing it back. And when they realize, dang, it's so close. When they realize my dad had this many children, but mama not a victim. Mama not a victim. The only victims is the children, the byproducts of these lustful relationships and these low functioning relationships. The only victims are your black children. Yep. You're not a victim. You are a co-conspirator. You know what I mean?
You're an accomplice.
You're an accomplice. You're not even an accessory. You deserve the same amount of time. And I know it sounds harsh and I know it sounds hard to hear. But the only reason it sounds harsh and hard to hear is because you haven't heard it. It hasn't been spit to you like this. Every time you make a mistake or you make an intentional decision that you know is going to set you back in life 5 years by laying with this man, because the person you lay with, they're either going to set you back or they're going to propel you forward. Ain't no in-betweens. You know that laying with this person and having his baby, what did she say? I didn't finish school till my son was six. You knew that laying with that man, you wasn't going to finish school. You knew that.
Yeah.
So the people that you surround yourself with, it says a lot about you. You guys can always disrespect and discount and discredit a black man and say he this, that, and the third. But don't ever forget that was the equal enough for you to bring life into the world for him. Don't ever forget that. You know what I mean? He ain't no better than you.
You be right on time, man. Because I keep saying nobody can lay down with someone that's better than them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can give me all of this specific guidance, then you got to be able to take it.
Right.
Just like this. Come on now, video.
But black men can't check us. We could tell a black man he got to go to therapy. We could tell a black man he lazy. He needs to help around the house. But your black man can't get you up at 6 a.m. and be like, we doing a workout?
Mm.
Your black man can't say, hey, babe, when you on the phone with your family, you're gossiping a lot. And then when you get off the phone with them, it's negativity in this household. Is there a way you can participate in your family stuff that doesn't hinder our relationship? You're treating me like your sister's baby father, and it hurts me every time you get off the phone with her. Like, I don't understand. Why is it that a partnership, when it comes to betterment, is only us to them when it can't be them to us?
Come on.
I say it all the time. When a black woman get checked, ain't no dinner gonna be cooked.
Man can't say, hey, babe, when you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ain't no vagina gonna be given. Kids not gonna eat. Ain't no hair getting combed. Ain't no backpack lunch getting packed when a mama's upset. That's the truth. Because you know why? We get coddled by our relationships. We don't want to grow past them. We want the same women that we knew since we was in high school to keep telling us, you wasn't wrong, girl. You ain't wrong. Instead of telling us the truth, you know what I mean? And when our man tell us the truth, because it's only so much bullshit a man can take, you know what I mean? Before whether nicely, whether calmly, or just straight out you being a bitch, you know what I mean? Homegirl, bitch. Let me tell you. But if he said you being a bitch, it's a whole different way. Your neck, you spin, your head spinning. You know what I mean? And a lot of black women brag on being hard to handle, on being very masculine, disrespectful. What did she say? Oh, he ain't. It was never physical because I will fight him.
That's what that other girl said.
Seeing stars, okay, go ahead and fight. You know what I mean? Then when you wake up concussed, head leaking, you want to call the police. You thought you were 6'2", 215. What are you doing? You know what I mean? It's so. What did you say last week? It's so much easier to be nice and stay in your place because a black man will lay the carpet out for you, cover every petal for you. You know what I mean? It's so much. You fighting against your own dream, black women. You know what I mean? You fighting against your own dream. Then you only prolonging something that you could have had years ago had you had an attitude adjustment. You thinking, oh, I did therapy. I got my body. You know, everything is right. Like, where's my man? Because I see y'all in the comments. Dear Lord, it's me again. You know what I mean? Don't let her not be the aesthetic, you know, fake hair, fake lashes, claws. Don't let her not be that aesthetic. If she anything outside of that, no matter complexion or anything, body type, or anything, if she's anything outside of the uniform, you feel like you got slighted. Like, oh, Lord, I've invested all this. You've invested all its outward appearance. You have to invest in your heart. It's really hard work because a lot of you have been really hardened. And it started with your mom pouring every day, pouring into you, pouring into your mind that you can do it without a black man. But you see where mama has come. A lot depending on drugs, substances. It's a lot of older women in their 60s, in their 50s, in their 70s. They got alcohol dependency.
Yeah.
They on meds. Mama crazy. Mama done drove herself crazy.
Crazy.
So you cannot, this is not the same thing when she chose your dad in a broken spot. She's been broken all your life. That's why you begging for an apology that may never come. You know, you telling the story that keeps getting denied. You're telling your truth and and it's so sickening and such a pathology in black families that your mama's sisters will cover for her. That's your mama's mama. Your grandma gonna cover for mama.
Hold up. Yeah, you come on back.
You know, they will make a truce before the family. And we all know it's like, it's a tell as old as time. But if we keep pushing it off, like, how many dogs do it have to be in the street? You know what I mean? If you vow off black men, you got to vow off their penis too. Let's be honest. And I'll say that again. If you vow off black men, you got to vow off their penis too. Because all these problems that we have, there's no shortage of black children being born. Even though y'all, you know, delete a lot of them, there's no shortage. It's a baby shower every weekend.
Yeah.
There's a baby shower every weekend. And it's so immaculate, extravagant. We need the daddies, you know? And it's just something that goes back into your psyche. Don't lay with somebody that you don't love. Don't lay with somebody that you don't trust. Don't lay with somebody that you don't respect. Because that's nothing but a catastrophe for disaster. You'll never see eye to eye when it comes to parenting. He'll say, let that boy cry. No, that's my baby. You know what I mean? Like, don't, it's a daughter. Don't let her wear that. That's too short. I don't feel comfortable. It's cute. You're never gonna be aligned on what your kid needs, and your child is gonna grow up confused. Mama said this, but daddy said that. Your child is gonna learn how to be manipulative because when your daddy said no, your mama say yes. You guys do this to get back at each other, and the kids suffer. And you can't possibly say that you love your kid. I love my king. I love my queen. I'll move the world for them. I'll make shit shake for them. If you're not collaborating with their dad, you can't possibly love your kid. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Even if you choose a crackhead. Let the kids find out. Let the kid, and you know, children. One thing about children being so innocent, being so pure, and I'm not condoning it, but you hear stories of like, my dad was a functional crackhead, and that I love my pops. You know what I mean? Or my dad was alcoholic, but he showed up, and I love my dad. You got tired of the behavior. These kids don't know the relationship with their dad, what y'all had going. Like you said, it happened before they even got here. So put that to the side because it has nothing to do with his relationship with his children. He could be crackhead Marvin. You know what I mean? But them kids love crackhead Marvin, and crackhead Marvin don't miss a beat.
Right.
One of my friends is that we already knew in elementary, dad, a functional crackhead. So what did I say about my dad? Didn't miss a beat. His daddy didn't miss a beat. He made sure that he cleaned up when it was time for his son to get, you know what I mean? Never missed a beat. So you let these kids, you let them decide that they don't want to mess with their daddies. It's not a choice that you make. When you say, oh, you know, when you spread eagle, whatever you're doing, when you consent, you're saying that possibly. I know it's y'all take it out of context and everything is so sexual, but when you make a commitment to lay down with somebody and you submit to a man and you carry his seed, you have to understand everything that come with that. It don't matter if you hate him in 18 years, y'all family for life. Y'all will share the same grandchildren. You have to really think about that. It's not about how you feel. You don't want to get married. Marriage is not for everybody. Also, having children is not for everybody. Everybody shouldn't be no parent.
Everything ain't for everybody, man. I swear. You know,
it really is disheartening for so many. Mama never the villain, but Mama has villainized so many children. She has weaponized so many children. She has been, the one holding the family down, and it was never on concrete. It was on quicksand. When Daddy tried to be of aid, it's like grown Black children are starting to realize why Daddy gone, why Daddy got on, because they got on. When they became of age, they got on. So you understand the pathology that your mama is not right.
Yep. Man, come on. You deserve all of the applause for that. All right, folks. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book. And most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm, because that's where life actually happens.